Welcome back. So, in the past few videos, we have been going through lesson 15, which is ser and estar, and we have also done recaps of the uh, the words. So, I think now it's a good time to take the basic quiz. So, let's get started. And as always, let's scan through this section and see how long it is and accordingly pace ourselves. So we have section A, pretty long. Okay, it's all multiple choice, and then section B. Okay, all right. So starting with section A, he is bored. He is bored. Okay, all right. So think about it. Uh, we need to think about. Um, so obviously, in terms of options, uh, one is the cell form and one is a star form, right? So this is for cell and this is for a star, and so we need to pick the right option, obviously. uh, so a star was to address the condition, and cell was to address the characteristic, the essential characteristic. So he is bored. So is that describing a condition, or is it um, is it describing or addressing um, a characteristic? So he is bored. Okay, so what? Él es aburrido. Él está aburrido. Okay, so if you think, look at this. He is bored. He is boring. Um, he is bored. Is this? I think this is a concept which might take some time to understand or wrap your head around. Um, he is bored. He is bored seems to be a condition. Um, so I'm going to go with está, aburrido, because it's not a characteristic. Because a characteristic is something which defines you. So bored is a state of mind, right? It's just a state you are at a given moment. So, and that's why I'm talking about in terms of condition, because that is not who you are. That's not uh, that's not something which defines you, right? And a condition is something which changes over a period of time. Like, for example, we saw in the lesson that the apple is green. So apple is green. We talk about in terms of condition. It's not going to stay green the entire time. It's not going to stay unripe the entire time, right? Uh, it's going to change. It's After a few days, it's going to start to become ripe. So it's not going to stay green. I mean, green in terms of being unripe. So this is something which will change. This is something it's going to change. So condition is again something that will change. It's just the state where you're at a given point of time. So he is bored. So él está aburrido. That's my logic of choosing this option. He is boring. He is boring. Okay. So he is boring. This is different now because this is defining who you are. He is boring. He is not. He is not fun. He is boring. He is boring. So he is boring. In this case, it should be él es aburrido because this comes from the ser form, and ser, as you know, defines or addresses essential characteristics. So that's why I'm choosing this. That's why we're choosing this. All right. So the next one, she is happy. She is happy. Temperament, condition. Right. She is happy. Doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to be happy, or doesn't mean she's going to be happy throughout. Right. Uh, she might get sad at some point, but happy is just the state of mind, the state where you're at a given moment. So that's condition. So él es alegre, 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 alegre. We need to see how it's pronounced. Um, alegre. Let's just see how it's pronounced.
Alegre.
Alegre. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Alegre. Okay. So this should be state of mind, condition. So we're going with is. Okay. So all right. So I didn't see um both exactly the same. I didn't notice that. All right. So she is happy. Temperament. So temperament is how you are, and so in that case, it should be, yeah, that should be is. And feeling happy, feeling is that's what is a condition. So it's you're feeling happy now, you may not feel happy later, so that's something that's going to change. So that's why we should choose está here. And temperament is again something which defines you, right? If you have good temperament, bad temperament. So es alegre, so it's from the ser form. They are tired. Condition. So and in this case they tired. So this should be están, están, because están is derived from the estar verb form. So I think it's están. They are tiresome. Now this is defining a characteristic. This is defining how the group is, right? So um, it should be son. Ellos son cansados. John is sick. Condition. John is sick. Um, he when when um, so está enfermo. John is sickly. Characteristic is from the said form. The boys are big. The boys are big. The boys are big. All right. So this is again a little tricky, but you need to think about it. The boys are big. Um. So notice the two, right? So the boys are big for their age, and the boys are big. The boys are big. My first impression was that it's gonna be something is defining that the group. So I'm going with uh, son characteristic, big feature. The boys are big for their age. The boys are big for age. This is defining a condition, a state. Um, I'm going with están grandes. Maria is amusing. Um, and Maria is amused. So Maria is amusing. This is a characteristic. She's amusing. She's fun. So Maria es divertida. And Maria is amused. So this is condition, state. Because this is state. She's amused. So está. Uh, Arsenio is lively. This is a characteristic. He's lively. Arsenio es vivo. Arsenio is alive. This is a condition, right? You are alive. Está. My sister is very quiet. This is a state. This is not a state. This is a characteristic. Uh, mi hermana es muy callada. My sister is being very quiet. So this is a condition. So mi hermana está. The apple is unripe. So an apple is unripe. So this is a condition, and we're gonna use está. And the apple is green, is color, and that's a characteristic. And that's why we're going to use the ser form and es verde. The soup here is always delicious. Is okay here and always. Okay. Um, sopa es deliciosa. Sopa está deliciosa. So, is this a condition or is this a characteristic? The soup here is always delicious. Delicious. The soup is delicious. Um, because we're talking about always and here, just thinking it might be a condition. And here talking about the soup is delicious. The soup is delicious. Um, Tonight. Okay. So I'm not sure if there is something bound with time. Like in terms of always or tonight. Um, Always. If it's always, it means I think it should mean that it's a characteristic because that's always that's how that thing is always all the time. So I think it should be es ser and soup is delicious tonight. Only talking about tonight, and I might go with Esther on this. Um, all right, so let's try to write 6 sentences in using ser and estar. Okay, so la manzana. Use the same examples. Es verde. So this would mean the apple is green, the color. And la manzana está verde. This is a condition which is unripe. And la manzana es rojo means the apple is red. And la okay pluma es blanca. The pen is white. La pluma es negro. The pen is black. And la pluma es rojo. The pen is red. And let's see if these are correct. Use Google Translate. The pen is white, the pen is black, the pen is red. And the top three, the apple is green, the apple is green, apple is red. So obviously we know one is defining condition, which is this, and the other one is defining the characteristic, the color in that respect. Alright, so let's check the answers now. Oh wow, so you got 20 on 20. Not too bad, right? So I hope you got the the logic in terms of answering the questions, trying to uh, trying to see if it's if you use ser or estar. That's the main uh, skill that we have learned to identify if we need to use ser or estar, the ser form or estar form. So in the next video, we'll be um, doing a weekly review. So until then, see you next time.